lie there in that old curiosity shop.
Well, hi everyone, I'm Scott from the Old Curiosity Shop. And obviously, this is not a kitchen counter thrift haul. I'm sitting at the old pump organ. And the reason I wanted to do this is because I had a couple of questions about the technique for playing a pump organ or a reed organ or parlor organ and how it's different from piano because someone recognized that I had a certain style of legato playing, which would suggest that I knew something about organ technique. So let me explain to you that a pump organ is not touch sensitive the way a piano would be. So piano players know if you strike a piano key, if you strike it softly, the hammer is going to hit the string gently. More force on the key, you're going to get a louder sound because the hammer is going to hit the string with more force. And with the piano, of course, we use expression pedals for sustain and so forth. And if we're using the sustain pedal on a piano, when we press a key, I don't know if you can hear that or not, when you take your finger off the key, you're still going to have sound because the string is still resonating, right? Well, on an organ, pipe organ or pump organ, when you take your finger off that key, dead. The sound cuts off instantly because that reed stops vibrating, or the air is no longer able to flow through a pipe, it doesn't speak, and the music stops, the tone ends. And so if we play an organ like a piano, we're going to get a very choppy, very unattractive sound. Let's flip in the old hymnal to my favorite, How Firm a Foundation, and I'm going to open up the stops on this, and I'm going to play this without using organ technique, without using substitution of fingers. I'm going to play it as if I'm playing a piano, and you're going to see what it sounds like. It's not going to sound very good. Also, quickly, I'll mention that this organ needs a rebuild. It's all original, made around 1910, 1912. The bellows are full of holes, and I'm pumping way too hard to get sound out of it, and the sound is weak. Once I restore this baby, look out. So for those of you who know pump organs, you're going to know that something's not right, and yes, there are plenty of holes in these bellows, so I'll do my best. So here's trying to play an organ with piano technique, and it hurts to do this, so it goes against my grain to do it, but I'll try my best. You hear the choppiness? The music isn't connected, there's no legato smoothness to it, and it's because I'm lifting my fingers off the keys. How do I stop that from happening? Well, on an organ, you've got to keep your fingers on the keys at all times, so that's called substituting. Now, how we do that is I want you to watch in the treble clef. My right hand, I'm reading the top line of this is the tenor and the alto and the soprano line. Here's piano technique. Wait, that would help if I open up the swell. Doesn't sound good. Now watch closely as I play. I will be sliding my fingers all over this thing like I'm caressing somebody. And my fingers will not leave the keys, and you'll hear a much different sound. Now watch. I hope I'm recording all of this and don't have to redo this. Okay, here we go. Hear the difference? See the difference? My fingers slide. If one finger has to move to play the soprano line and the alto finger is free, it'll slide off the alto note and go and hold the soprano note while the other fingers move. That's how you get a beautiful legato flowing sound. Let's hear it. And I've got all the stops open. Here's Hal Firma Foundation using proper organ technique, and you'll really see my fingers slide and they just don't move. They just don't come off the keys. Here we go. Now, except for the mistakes that I made, that's the difference. Now you know why many organists can't stand getting off the pipe organ and going to a piano, because it's a different technique. And a lot of piano players, if they're not trained in substitution and how to do voice leading, their organ sound is very choppy and very piano-like and not melodic and connected the way an organ is. So one more really pretty one here, which we hear at Easter time, is "'Tis Midnight and on Olive's Brow." And on this one, I'm going to sometimes, hold on for a second. The bass, this is not the way, excuse me. This is not the way, okay, there we go. That's not the way to get a stop to unstick itself, but I had to do that. So what I'm going to do now is play this through twice, and I only have certain stops open. What you can't see going on down here, well, let me let you see it. Down here where my knees are, if I kick out, we have paddles here. Here's one, can you see it? And there's one over here. When I kick this knee outward, now I'm pumping at the same time. So pump, 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 that fills the bellows up with air. And then at the same time that I'm pumping, I have to kick my right knee out, which opens up the swell box. That gives us the volume. And my left knee also slides outward, which opens up additional stops. So it's an exercise for the brain to get your feet pumping and to have your knees going in and out like this in the opposite direction of what your feet are doing. And you're reading 2 staves, 4 lines here. Ooh, we're going to hold on now. And you're trying to read the music at the same time, right? And keep an eye on the preacher so that you don't play over his sermon. All right, enough of that. Here's "'Tis Midnight and on Olive's Brow." First verse, very quiet, legato, very beautiful, and then we'll open up the stops and you'll hear more. Okay, so my goal, hopefully, with all the projects that I have, is to totally tear this thing apart, rebuild it. I've rebuilt maybe, half a dozen to maybe 8 or 9 pump organs in my lifetime. I love this Este organ because it has a wonderful sub bass, 16-inch sub bass, which really gives you that undergirding support. A lot of organs don't have a 16-inch sub bass, and there's some other interesting stops, which I'm not going to go into that now, but I hope you enjoyed that pump organ, reed organ playing 101. Thanks for watching. I'm Scott from the Old Curiosity Shop. So long for now.